Hey guys, welcome back to another sensational day at the island.
Today,
we're breaking stuff as usual.
Today, we are going to show you how we built our little electric outboard to hopefully...
Yeah, so you don't break stuff as well. Look, this thing is a screamer. We've had a lot of fun with it. We use it as our daily commute. So we're going to head up and go through the build. To the workshop. God. Hey.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good, just showing them what's left of the propeller.
Oh, the dramas.
The dramas.
Yeah, the stuff we've done so that other people don't have to make the silly mistakes we made. Most people wouldn't have even made those mistakes. Guys, we have broken some stuff and we've sent some stuff to all parts of heaven and hell.
And the moon.
And onto the ice and yeah. But we're in the workshop now and we're actually going to show you how we made this little outboard.
Yep. Now, this is going to be a lengthy video. So, as per usual, I'm going to put chapters down here. Yeah. Use them. We're not here to waste your time.
No.
Only watch what you like.
Exactly. So go to the important bit, which is probably the end.
Yeah.
And, all right. So, I mean, what we basically have here is we got an old outboard from our neighbour.
Yeah.
And
so this is off an old Mariner.
A Mariner.
Like a 9 horsepower-ish.
That's right. Yeah, 9.9 horsepower.
Yeah.
And it has this little, I think it's a 10 by 7 propeller. I can't quite remember. There is nothing spec'd on this thing, but the bottom unit was in decent nick. It only leaks a little bit of oil.
Yeah, just every now and then.
Every now and then, yeah.
But anyway, what we're saying here is like, if you want to build one of these DIY things, chance is that you or maybe your neighbour has an old motor laying around that is, you know, unfixable.
That's right.
It's had a cylinder go to the moon. I don't know what's happened to it, but that's what happened here. Our neighbour had this laying around and we're like, yeah, we'll take it and do something with it. Yeah,
and the actual motor itself had seized, so it was worthless. Being out on an island, they usually don't get rid of things. They just put it somewhere for later. Yeah. So, a great little find. So what we did is we started by removing the actual top of it, like
the ice,
the motor,
just everything.
Yeah,
that was actually quite difficult.
Funnily enough, you'd just think it was like going to be 4 bolts and you'd remove it and hurl it, but there was actually a fair bit of work in it. I'd probably say like we mucked around for a good half an hour by the time we got through all the bits and pieces and disconnected it from the drive shaft. And what we were left with is where we're actually going to go now, because I'm going to start by pulling this apart so you guys actually see. One of the things I worked off was that aluminium is sort of being a builder carpenter in my previous life, or actually still am, still do a fair bit of it, is that aluminium is a fair bit like timber. You can use a lot of your woodworking tools just to cut it and work with it. So
I mean, all of this was cut with the battery-powered sliding compound over there.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
then let's get this disassembled, and we'll show you the inside.
Yeah. Yep. Too easy. Now I've done that, this baby should just be ready to lift off. As you can see here, this is our water cooling. It comes up from the original impeller. And this is the top unit that we made. And there's my 2 nuts and 2 washers that I was talking about. I worked on the principle that I really only wanted a few tools, like not very many at all, to make it, because I just want to make it easy to work on. So these are what I need: 5mm hex key, 10mm spanner, and that's just the actual physical key. So really, you'll get by with that to put this thing together. Right. Now when we've disassembled the thing, it's time to put it back together again and also tell you why we've done some stuff and what you shouldn't do, I guess. Or at least what you should avoid doing. That's right, yeah. So as you can see here, like we went and got the spline off the original old ice, we butchered it and cut it out with a grinder, and then I welded onto this drive shaft with a stick welder. It's not real pretty, but it absolutely does the job and is hanging in there really well.
Yes.
Couple of hose connectors, one going in, one going out, and
it goes
like that.
Now, as you can see on this electric motor, the drive shaft sticks out the bottom.
That's right.
And when you buy them,
they look like this.
They stick out the top.
Website model, yeah.
Yes.
And that's right.
We recommend you get you can get them bottom mounted from factory.
That's right.
We recommend you do that.
Yeah, it's a pain in the bum going through all of that hassle trying to do it on your own. You're going to learn unnecessary things.
Yeah. And the reason for that has got to do with the box design. So let's move on to that. So
with the box design, it came about purely because we had this motor originally. Yeah. And
actually, we should start by saying, proof of concept stage, this was 4 wooden pieces screwed together. I'll show an image of it, but it's hilarious.
Yeah, and it worked fantastically.
It does. So if you want a wooden motor, go for it.
Yeah, environmentally friendly through and through. That's right. And because we didn't know very much about things back then, before we'd experimented and broken a lot of stuff, we actually just got this motor and went, okay, that's the way it's supposed to be, and built the aluminium box and put it in there as such, and it would sit like that. Yeah. So you can purely see that we just had the connector on the shaft there, and we're right to go.
Now, what you see in this configuration is that when the motor was mounted to the top here, the box had to be very strong. It's, it's bolted with L brackets and stuff. It's like this box is tank strong.
This is made from 3mm aluminium, which was hanging around here at the property.
Yeah. Now, and that's because when you have it top mounted, the torque goes through the whole box and then into the 4 bolts that mount it to the old Mariner.
Yeah, which then go to your boat, gives you the propulsion. Yep.
Now, when Mark from FreeRC told us that, hey, you can flip the drive shaft, that opened up quite a few more possibilities. So instead of mounting it in the top, what we recommend you do is you get a bottom plate.
Yep, that's all right.
So just this piece. Ignore these 3. Just get the bottom plate.
Like a traditional outboard.
Yes. Mount it onto here.
And then whack your
motor on top of it.
Straight on top.
That means that you can make...
You're done and dusted.
Yeah, you can make an outboard lid that slides off easier.
That's right.
As you see now, we've had to disassemble the whole thing just because we didn't make that design.
That's right.
That's not on there, apparently.
It's not on there at the moment. All right, it's probably just been ripped off. We've been pulling it to pieces. But as such, with all that said, what we'll do is I'll just reinstall that down the very bottom there, and then we'll start putting the bottom plate and the box on like this, and then we'll put the motor into it.
Now, the only reason we're putting it back together this way and not making it the better way that we told you to with the bottom plate is because we've already got this. It works. That's good enough for us.
That's right. You got to remember, like, it's a machine we use it on a daily basis, so we can't have it out of action.
No, it just has to work.
That's
and right now it works.
That's right. Okay, so in doing this and making this, all I did was just basically pattern off the holes from the original.
Yeah, you've got 4, 2 there and 2 on the other side.
That's right, and I'd worked out that using these 6mm bolts, the 4 of those was going to be strong enough for the torque created, and they're doing a good job as of today. And so now I'm going to mount them.
You're just using these self-lock nuts as well.
Self-locking nuts, that kind of stuff.
I mean, they've done fine, so...
Yeah, they're hanging in there.
As you can see, the tolerances in here are, 5mm at most, but it doesn't have to be more. And as said, the only reason this has got so much clearance here is because that's how the old motor was mounted.
Yeah. So. It's a well-balanced motor, and the reason we chose these motors is pretty much just because they're an outrunner and they got a lot of torque, which is really handy out on the lake. But as you can see, an outrunner means that the outside of it spins together with the shaft. So you do occasionally, you might get some grot or some dirt in there or something.
Yeah, that's where the paint's rubbed off.
That's a bit of paint rubbed off, yeah. R&D has been like that. Now I'm actually going to bolt the motor onto this first, and then we're going to send it down there.
As said, if you would have just made a bottom plate,
you would have not have those issues. Yeah. That's right. Alrighty, so can see where we're going here. Just get our little cooling hoses to sit neat and tidy down here underneath everything. And we'll just sit that onto there. Yank them through.
Now, the way that we have the water cooling set up as of right now,
it's just a bit of a, because just to make things simple is, or keep it all off the impeller, was just to run the hoses firstly via the motor, so you get cooling water that way, and then also send cooling water to the ESC via a hose out the front of the motor. And
now, depending on what ESC you run, that may or may not be necessary. We're going to go into the whole electronics box in another video. That's completely separate, we think. That deserves a video of its own, actually. So, but that's how we run it. So we just have a T-joint somewhere, right?
That's right, just using like readily available
plastic tubing.
Oh, just plastic tubing. It works fine. Probably not got a huge lot of life in it, but it's enough to do the job. Probably going to get a few years out of it. And I mean, look, in 5 years' time, you're going to be pulling this apart anyway to have a look at it and make sure that, you know, there's no real dramas with it.
I mean, it's not optimal because, as I said, if you get a leak, then like
you just get water everywhere.
And the bearings were like, nope, see you later. But I mean, the bearings are replaceable, but yeah, it's easier just to make sure it doesn't leak. Now we're basically doing what would be the easy step if you used a base plate, just
that's right,
mounting it all straight to the factory holes on the old outboard. I think while we're at it, we should probably talk about the connectors.
Yeah, we chose to go with the Anderson connectors, and they're just the correct thing to use. They're a really good product as well because they are easy to use, even with gloves on, and they're all rated. So when you check out the website, you'll know what you need from the amount of power that you're going to use for your motor and the ratings on them. It gives you different sizes of the actual insides of the connector and that. So that's the kind of thing that the Anderson Power products are really good, and we'll link to that one down the bottom as well. And so highly recommend those. Getting this thing all together, and as you can see, just using the hex keys with the machined heads. Super simple as well if you want to make threaded holes in aluminium. Just make a hole. If these are 6mm, grab a 5.5mm drill bit, and you do your hole at 5.5mm or 5mm, and you just get one of these. You pop it on your gun. You get it started, and then you just force it through, and you've threaded it instantly. So it saves a lot of time, that kind of stuff, when you're building these kinds of things.
Quick and dirty way of making an aluminium housing. Oh,
Sandy Munro, eat your heart out.
I'm not sure you would be too impressed.
Oh, I'll allow him to be disappointed. All right, so all back together again. Covered it in sort of light details, and you'll have yourselves a motor in no time.
Yeah, no, but hopefully we gave you some good pointers. I mean, there's so many variables when building this, so we can't give any measurements or anything, because let's be honest, if you, let's say you built it on a 7 horsepower bottom, these holes are going to be out of whack, and, you know, stuff like that.
That's
also
right.
Depends on what electric motor you buy and stuff.
That's right.
But really, I hope that we've managed to, you know, sum up our learnings and give those to you in a reasonably structured video. Yeah, I think we're a bit all over the place, but I think it's quite good.
Well, the next video we're going to cover the actual electronics,
yeah,
and the ESC and the controller. Now, before we do leave this stage, you can actually just pop the ESC into this. One of the ideas there is you can have the water cooling running straight past it as well. Yeah. We don't have that. There's some reasons in that we'll discuss in the next video. So, but we're going to head out on the lake again, take you guys for a bit of a spin, and show you some of the performance, because this thing rips.
So until next time,
see you later. Happy days.